to everyone. I would like to welcome all of you to our annual celebration of Sithi Nakha, Bungdyah Jatra, and Bungdyah Jatra.
Function नाका जीव कार्यक्रम बुद्ध जयंती जो कारण जे बुद्ध जयंती पंचशील प्रार्थना याना जे सूर्यंतना बुद्धम शरणं गच्छामि धर्मम शरणं गच्छामि संघम शरणं गच्छामि.
So the recital that he just said was called the Conscious Seal of Buddha. So it is obviously a holy saying. If you follow those paths that Buddha asked you to follow, you will be enlightened. And if you, like, the whole point of this recital is to ask you to do all good deeds in your life. And if you follow the path of Buddha, you will be blessed by Lord Buddha.
जीव कार्यक्रम सूर्यको इतके शुभारंभ लागि तो यसले चाहिँ नाइ हजुर डाक्टर हेमन्त जोशीको अनि ड्यास है आसन ग्रहण यात्रीले जी इनाम गर्छन् डाक्टर हेमन्त जोशी. Dr. David Bain stage is high leader.
So we have here our chief guest, Dr. David Bain. I don't know if you all remember, but he has been here before. I think it's the same last year. And to talk briefly about him, Dr. David Bain is a retired professor of educational psychology, University of Alberta. He is also a published writer, artist, and professional photographer. He is the author of 2 books, Handicapped Children in Developing Countries and Alternative Futures for the Education of Students with Severe Disabilities. Dr. Bain also served as an educational consultant in the developing countries such as Nepal, India, South Africa, and Siberia. He visited Nepal a couple of times during 1980 to early 1990s. At the University of Alberta, he had guided a couple of Nepalese doctoral students on their research. So I would like to ask all of you to give him a round of applause. Thank you.
अथे थौ यो कार्यक्रममा मेबो गो पहा थन चाहियुदु वयकख डॉक्टर साइरस पांजवानी वयक फिलोसोफी एम associate professor ka Bain University ji Dr. Cyrus Panjvani ata thana stage zaidi ji inabia.
So our next chief guest is Dr. Cyrus Panjvani. Dr. Cyrus Panjvani is associate professor of philosophy at City Center campus Nepal University. He is a published writer, researcher, and expert in Buddhist philosophy. Wittgenstein, Gandhi, and philosophy of religion. Recently, he has published a book on Buddhism. This book philosophically introduces the basic truths, doctrines, and principles of Buddhism. Dr. Panjvani also supervises honors as well as individual study students at the Nepal University. So, Dr. Cyrus Panjvani, I would like to invite you to be seated on the stage.
तो यो कार्यक्रम अफिसियली सुरुवात किया ट्वारीवर चाकरी जी थौ या कार्यक्रम के मुंह पात डॉक्टर डेविड बेन हो डॉक्टर साइरस पांजवानी जी इनादिया
would like to officially begin the program to David Bain lit up the Twariba.
통유 कार्यक्रम सुरुवात है पूजायु जयंती 지 नकी मयजु बेजुना जोशी जुया हन स्टेज छाइदी निनापे मयजु बेजुना जोशी सुबह मैं जो बेजुना जोशी actually for Dr. Jayanti Joshi Jayanti ji ina kaya ki wai kana for you last question to Biali Dr. Jayanti Joshi.
Now we would like to invite Dr. Bungdyah Jatra to give a short speech. Thank you.
Nepal Society of Bungdyah आयोजना सुसंपन्न प्रयासों को सांस्कृतिक त्यागों है बुद्ध जयंती मनाया सिद्धि नखा मनाया बंद्याह जात्रा मनाया सिलसिला तो सांस्कृतिक त्यागों है सिद्धि का दुनिया में से लक्ष्यों से स्वागत चुनैया जी जो नोटुताई जी अंग्रेजी भाषा मीडिया Thank you. Honorable guests, NCA members and well-wishers. On behalf of Nepal Cultural Society of Alberta, I would like to welcome all of you in today's cultural event to jointly celebrate Buddha Jayanti, Sithi Nakha and Bungdyah Jatra festivals of Nepal. These festivals are mostly celebrated by Newa people of Nepal. Newa people are the indigenous people of Kathmandu Valley and surrounding areas of Nepal. Newa people are well known for their rich culture and traditions. As most of you know, Newa Cultural Society of Alberta is a new organization which was established 2 years ago to practice, promote and preserve Newa culture and traditions here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, working together for the current and future generations. With this objective, we have been routinely organizing various important cultural events and activities in Edmonton with the support from community members as well as from the city of Edmonton. In this context, today we are here again to celebrate Bungdyah Jayanti, Sithi Nakha and the Bungdyah Jatra festival. All these three festivals are very important to us and play a key role in our lives and the society. We celebrate Sithi Nakha usually in offering to observe the birth anniversary of Lord Kumar, the elder son of Shiva, the god of destroyer. On this day, we worship Lord Kumar and enjoy eating specific pancakes made from beans, especially the lentils, black lentils, and flour. This festival also has environmental significance, as on this day people also worship Mother Earth and clean water resources such as ground wells, springs, and stored water fountains. Each year, in full moon day of May, we observe Bungdyah Jayanti, the birth anniversary of Gautam Buddha, the messenger of peace in the world. Buddha was born in Bain of Nepal and became Siddha in Sithi Nakha of India. His 5 principles as well as teachings are very important and well known for relieving from suffering as well as maintaining peace in the world, in the mankind. We learn more about the importance of culture and Buddhism from our honorable guests after my speech. Bungdyah Jatra is celebrated in the district of Padam, the southern city of Kathmandu Valley. It is the famous and biggest chariot festivals of Nepal. Bungdyah is also known as Ratu Matsindana or Avalokeswar. It is the god of rain and grains. People pulled the chariot of Bungdyah and took around the main localities of the city for worship and celebration. This festival is one of the longest festivals of Nepal. The festival starts from March, April and ends in June before the start of monsoon. However, this year, due to the recent devastating earthquakes, the festival of Bungdyah Jatra is still postponed for a few weeks. It is believed that the chariot used in the Bungdyah Jatra festival is the tallest chariot in the world. The chariot used in this festival is about 65 feet long and needs at least 100 people to pull. On one particular festival route in the morning, the chariot of Bungdyah is pulled only by women. Every 12 years, this chariot festival begins pulling chariots from a village named Bungdyah. This year is the 12th year cycle of this festival. And the chariot festival began pulling from Bungdyah last April. The chariot of Bungdyah is still in Bungdyah because of the earthquake and a leap year which began 2 days ago. I hope all will enjoy today's cultural event. We have brief speeches on culture and Buddhism, followed by short culture program and ethnic dinner. Finally, I would like to thank all of you, especially our guests, Dr. David Bain, and Dr. Cyrus Panjvani for accepting our invitation to celebrate the festivals together with us. So thank you.
Nai Raju, Dr. Hemant Joshi Jueta, Subai, Tokilipo, J. Ho Yakubupa, Dr. David Bain Yado, Chikizarao, Roju, Yaneta Naga. I'd like to thank you so much, Dr. Hemant Joshi, for your speech and explanation about our culture, Bungdyah Jatra, and our Jayanti, Sithi Nakha. And now I'd like to request Dr. David Bain to give your short speech. Dr. David Bain.
Good evening. Nice to see all of my Nepalese neighbors again. It's been a year since the last time we met, and I'm happy to see you. I was just looking through your brochure. It says the mission of the Nuwa Cultural Society is to practice, preserve, and promote Nuwa cultural heritage. I'd like to talk a little bit about culture. What is culture? You've seen some culture here this evening. Have you seen the ceremony here? You see the visible aspects, the ladies out there with their saris on. Later on, you're going to see a dance. Those are the visible characteristics of your culture. The devotional practices, the dance, the language, the clothing, the architecture. And then there's a lot of invisible characteristics, such as perceptions, attitudes, values, beliefs, the way that you relate to each other, your communication styles, the way that you think. The question I want to ask tonight is, why should you identify carefully the nature of your culture and try and preserve it? The reason that I think you should is because there are powerful forces in the Western world. Those are forces in Europe and in North America that are westernizing cultures throughout the world. Western TV, media, and movies, and the internet spread the Western culture everywhere. Globalization leads to integration of Western worldviews, products, methods, and ideas everywhere. Cultures are becoming homogenized, and their precious and unique characteristics are being lost. A recent study found that as the world becomes more connected, language diversity is plummeting. 40%, listen to this, 40% of the 7,000 languages in the world are about to be lost. And we could say the same thing about our cultures. They're being lost as well. They're being homogenized, they're being westernized. We all think and act in the same way. The prevalent, industrial, consumer-oriented, continuous growth model is going to need the creative input of a variety of perspectives to preserve the environment and the future of the world. I hope that you'll follow up with your mission described in this brochure to preserve your positive characteristics and help us advance the world. Thank you.
Dr. David Bain and able to survive. Thank you so much, Dr. Bain, for your beautiful speech. Appreciate it. Pagkilipo, di inat kaya na kung yan mo, ni mo mupaha, Dr. Cyrus Panjvani ito, chikitarao, where money don't cut out, yan na ito, di, where na di inat ito. I'd like to request one of our honored guests, Dr. Cyrus Panjvani, to put forward your speech, short speech.
Thank you for inviting me on this auspicious occasion. It is my sincere honor to be here today. Prior to his enlightenment at age 35, the Buddha went from a life of luxury in his palaces, where he lived for 29 years, to a life of extreme poverty and asceticism for 6 years. He found that both of these ways of living were inadequate for overcoming the suffering that he felt. Upon enlightenment, the Buddha began preaching what is called the middle way, or the middle path. Tonight, I want to speak to you a little bit about this middle way and some of its meanings. And I'll assume just a little bit of familiarity with the Buddha's life. To start, let me read to you two quotations attributed to the Buddha, wherein he describes two stages of his earlier unenlightened life. First, his luxurious palace life. Quotation: "I was delicate, O monks, extremely delicate, excessively delicate. In my father's dwelling, lotus pools had been made, in one blue lotuses, in another red, in another white, all for my sake. I used no sandalwood that was not of Benares. My dress was of Benares cloth, my tunic, my underrobe, my cloak. Night and day, a white parasol was held over me, so that I should not be touched by cold or heat, by dust or weeds or dew. I had 3 palaces, one for the cold season, one for the hot, and one for the season of rains. Through the 4 rainy months, in the palace for the rainy season, entertained by minstrels, I did not come down from the palace." The second quotation is of his life as an ascetic, a samana. "The bones of my spine, when bent and straightened, were like a row of spindles through the little food. As the beams of an old shed stick out, so did my ribs stick out through the little food. And as in a deep well was the deep low-lying sparkling of my eyes through the little food. And as a bit of gourd cut off raw is cracked and withered through wind and sun, so was the skin of my head withered through the little food. When I thought I would touch the skin of my stomach, I actually took hold of my spine. And when I thought I would touch my spine, I took hold of the skin of my stomach. So much did the skin of my stomach cling to my spine through the little food. When I thought I would ease myself, I thereupon fell prone through the little food. To relieve my body, I stroked my limbs with my hand, and as I did so, the decayed hairs fell from my body through the little food." The second one is from the Mahasachika Sutra. At first, when we reflect upon it, has much depth to offer. The symbolic reading does not deny that the literal extremes of luxury and asceticism are to be avoided, but finds that, when looked at symbolically, these major stages in the Buddha's life highlight an order on the path to enlightenment that is applicable to everyone. Thank you.
Dr. Cyrus Panjvani, thông chỉ bảo vệ đối với philosophy, Buddhism, wala pun sama itu pada kekasihnya jika busuk pada jika share yang tidak, mungkin lagi boleh ada juga I'd like to thank you very much, Dr. Panjvani, for sharing about your experience and knowledge about our Buddhism and Buddhist philosophy, which all we need to know, we need to learn, we need to practice in our life in order to be a good person. Thanks so much. अतः जी आप स्टेज आइए कुछ जी डॉक्टर जोशी का था डॉक्टर डेविड बेन था डॉक्टर साइरस पंजवानी था आया वालिया दिल्ली के बंदरगाह से I'd like to thank so much Dr. Joshi and our distinguished guest.
Actually, in this song, a boy who is falling in love with a lady. She's so pretty, having wonderful and big eyes, and the hair is just curly hair. It was everything. At that time, maybe in our culture, there was not the matter about the love marriage. So there was arranged marriage. And when the boy likes the girl, and boy said to his father, I need that girl. Her name is Jayanti. And if he is not going to get that lady, he's just going to leave the home. That he says, casting. And we're going to just play by the fields. And we are not the professional musicians. We are just normal musicians. We're just playing all these things just to keep our culture. We hope that one from our team. I request you to be pardon about that, though if we do some mistakes. Thank you very much.
Cultural Society of Alberta had a dance class beginning this month, and we are having the dance class every weekend. And this dance is directed by Mrs. Poonam Malakar.
as well as the development team for providing this wonderful, nice hall. Thank you all. Thanks.